Hey guys, how's it going? It is Smalls, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look back at all my graphic design projects throughout my senior year in high school, specifically the ones on paper because I couldn't really save all the ones online. But anyways, I am going to give a brief description on how these projects came to be. But anyways, let's get straight into it. Hey guys, how's it going? So hopefully this video doesn't take too long, so we're going to get straight into the very first project, which is my Christmas card project, which we had to design for a family member, friend, or someone that we really wanted to give something to. And this is how the mock-up turned out. This is just flimsy printer paper, so you can obviously see right through it. But this is how this came out. I was really not proud with the front. I feel like I could have done a little bit better, but we had to use Illustrator for this, and this is how both of my Christmas cards came out. I really like the back a little more. I just like the text and how the picture actually came out. So let's show you guys the actual finished product. I didn't end up cutting it correctly, as you can see that there's if it focuses, there's like paper all around the edges, but this is how the thing actually came out. I'm still not very proud of how this Christmas card came out. I'm still very proud of the back. It's very simple, but the front is just really not selling it for me, so I never really ended up giving it to anyone just because I wasn't really proud of it. So here's the first one and here's the second one. If I were to choose which one I like more, I would say this one at the top with the snowman. And let's get straight into the very next project. So on to the second project, we actually have my ID and tent card project. And this project was for a podcast we were doing during class. We only came out with one episode, not two. We were supposed to work on a second one, but we only came out with one. But here it is. So this top one was supposed to be very similar to Anderson .Paak, the artist, but I knew that people were gonna think that if they saw the double A, so I changed it to 1A, and this was my actual final design. I did like this, but I thought it was very similar to Anderson .Paak, so I just ended up switching it all together. And then we got pen. This was my nickname that we were supposed to use. I didn't like that. I was just kind of messing around. And then stick. I really like the design, especially for this one down here. This one was supposed to be like sticks, but it kind of looked like water for some reason, so I ended up switching to this one, but I ended up sticking with the pack. And let me show you guys the ID card right here, and this is how this actually came out. I really liked how it came out because I used the bevel and emboss for the name, and this little like character right here is supposed to show that you don't know who I am, but you know the name. And then let me show you guys the tent card real quick. I didn't really end up finishing it a lot. I really only did the name because my teacher said that we really didn't have to ink it because we were just gonna copy the design from the ID card to the tent card. So I ended up just keeping it like this. I really liked how I did the stick one though. So for my next project, I ended up creating a logo for a friend. So this was a personal project that my teacher actually ended up helping me with in creating this logo. He actually ended up paying me for the logo as well. And I actually do have a video up on my channel about this, so I'll link it down in the description if you guys want to go watch that. But these are the sketches. I'm not going to go too in detail into this because I do have a video up on my channel just going more in depth. But these are all the sketches that I ended up creating for my friend. So these were actually pretty cool. I actually ended up liking it. We ended up going with something like this over here on this page. We ended up going with something very similar to this, so make sure to go check that video out. But anyways, let's go on to one of my favorite projects that I did throughout the year. So for this next project, I had to create ID cards for a fictional business that we had created, and these business cards were actually really fun to make. These were the cards that I actually ended up messing up. The ones that I did end up turning in stayed with the teacher and we never got them back, which kind of sucks, but here it is. I ended up creating a business called Traverse Hiking, and these were the ID cards that I ended up creating, or not the ID cards, the business cards. And this is how they came out. So you can tell that right here with the rocks, I thought I was gonna cut them out, but obviously I just moved them down there, so it looks off. I did not like it, so I ended up switching it. And probably my favorite card was either this one or the one with the rock right here, or this one right here. This was probably one of my favorite projects. It sucks that we really couldn't mock them up. We only did them on printer paper. We really didn't have a chance to make them on cardstock, which sucks, but I really wish we had created these on cardstock just so we can keep them as a mock-up. So for my very next project, I had to create a vignette inside of Photoshop. I ended up doing this project wrong, so I had to end up keeping it, and I also ended up having to stick one of these up in the wall. I ended up taking it home, but this is how it came out. So obviously there's supposed to be a shadow. If you don't know what a vignette is, it's basically a shadow that goes around the whole picture, and I ended up doing it wrong. But this was a picture I took for a field trip that we had to walk around the streets and take pictures for an assignment that we were supposed to do. This is how it came out. This is my signature down here, and then I really liked how this really came out, but it wasn't my favorite project to date. Like I said, the business card project was fun, but it wasn't the funnest that I had ever done. So now let's go on to my final project, which turns out to be my CD cover design. And this was by far the funnest project that I had done throughout the year. I ended up covering the black and white version, and I also have a video up on my channel if you want to go watch that. But I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth about this because this was the funnest project that I have ever done inside that class. So here they are. So this is the black and white version, and I really liked how it came out. I ended up doing it wrong, but we ended up getting the actual album cover printed in color, so we ended up switching those out. That's why I have the black and white version still. And this is how it came out. But let me show you guys the CD real quick, which is this right here. This is probably my favorite project because we also ended up burning the CD. The music is actually in here. I'll show you guys the songs right now. But this is how it came out. I really like how it came out. This was by far the funnest project that I had. I ended up coming up with this cover because a private space kind of shows that you're trying to show some sort of censorship. That's why I put that black bar. And if we look on the sides, we can see that I did end up doing it right this time, because anytime I flipped it, it would be like this and it would be really off. But let's look at the back real quick. These are all the songs with You, Mango, Silicon Valley, Come Down My D. Most of these are by Anderson .Paak. This is by Kamau, and this is by Duran Jones and The Indications. Some of my favorite bands this year. But this is the whole album cover or mixtape that we ended up creating. I really like the back how it came out because all these little lines that go behind me and some go in front of me, which I really like. And the fact that we ended up burning the CD cover, or we ended up burning the CD, was really fun. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and leave a comment down below. But anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.